What's going on, fam? How is everybody doing? I've been suffering from a bit of a cold. So I want to say, what is up, fam? Happy Soupy Tuesday to you. Happy Soupy Tuesday. Soupy Tuesday to me because it's soup. But anyway, fam, I'm not going to, I'm late. So I'm not going to talk for a long time anyway. But I felt like, even though we didn't have a show last night, that we had to have a show today because we got to talk about it. But before we talk about all of the stuff, we got to do a bit of housekeeping. As we always do. Please hit that like button for me. Please hit that like button. Cost you nothing to hit that like button for me. I would absolutely appreciate it. If you want to donate, you know what to do. You can go to, what is wrong with that thing? You can go to donatebrown.com if you want to donate. You can hit that bell. Please hit that bell to get notifications. If you have not hit that bell, please hit that bell for me. I would appreciate it. Please, if you haven't, like I said, you got to hit that like button. You got to subscribe. If you have not subscribed already, please do that for me. If you want to subscribe to Patreon and do a monthly donation, patreon.com/ycarnell, adosmerch.com. There was interesting things happen with merch. Like there was a run on the extra large white t-shirts for some reason. So if you order one of those and haven't gotten it, it's back ordered. Just to let you know that. Some of you I have let know through email, but just to let you know that. But if you want to get a shirt, adosmerch.com. There's a long sleeve green tee that was added, hoodies that were added. So do that if you want to do that. What else am I missing? Because I always miss something. Every time I do this, I miss something. Oh, the book club. The Color of Money, Black Banks, and the Racial Wealth Gap. That will be on, I believe it's the 26th. The 26th of this month, which is March. That's on a Thursday. So that's the last Thursday of the month. We try to do the book club on the last Thursday of every month. So that's going to be our book club. We have a Monday show, a Wednesday show, and we will have the book club show. For those of you who are not familiar, please read it and bookmark it and show up and turn up and all of that good stuff, and we'll have fun times, and fun times will be had by everybody. I hate when this screen does this. It's the stupidest thing. It's so annoying. But anyway, fam, listen. I haven't seen all of the results come in. I've seen what I've seen. And I haven't seen what I have not seen. I know what I know, but I don't know what I don't know. So I saw Bernie Bros. What happened to the Bernie Bros? I ain't seen the Bernie Bros come through yet. The Biden boomers. There's a lot of stuff going on. I can't call it. I don't know why it's going on. I'm just here to tell you that it is going on. I'm just here to tell you a lot of things happen, and there are a lot of takeaways, even so far as right now. There are a lot of things we can take away from what just happened. Well, what can we take away, Yvette? What are you talking about? What is the takeaway? What kind of takeaway are you talking about from what we just saw? What do you mean by that? Well, I don't want to be mean when I talk about the Bernie Bros. I'm just kind of wondering where they are. I'm kind of wondering where a lot of people were, right? Because there are a lot of people who came out for different people, and like a lot of stuff didn't happen. So what do I mean by that? What am I trying to say? I'm trying to say the gatekeepers, for one thing, don't really matter that much. People going to do what they do and think what they think. Now, you had a lot of people at the last minute. Let's point out a couple of them before we get to the results. We're going to get to the results in 1 second, but we're going to talk about real quick, if you have a moment, what happened before we got all the results. A lot of people came out and decided they were going to be the thing. They were going to throw their support in one way or another. I'm talking about our people, ADOS, black people. They were going to throw their support in one direction. You had the queen of intersectionality, the one who coined the term, said, I'm going for Elizabeth Warren. All right, you done threw your thing in that, you done threw your hat in the ring. Let's talk about the people who came out and what they mattered and didn't matter. Right? In terms of what I'm seeing tonight. Because I ain't seeing Warren doing nothing. If you see Warren doing something, you let me know. I voted for E. Warren today because she listens to black women, understands that economic justice has not ever been sufficient to ensure racial justice, admits mistakes, and is a tough broad. Because we now see how not having a leader with a plan costs lives. Well, that sounded all nice and good. But the thing is, it didn't matter. And I think part of the reason that it didn't matter is because this idea that, you know, let me just put this up because I want to put this up. Hold on a second. I want to put this up. I had to find this clip because I want to put it up. Just in terms of, because she did a Time interview about intersectionality. We're going to get to today's stuff, but I just want to do a little background first, and we're going to get to it and get through it, and I want to hear what y'all got to say, but I want to talk about this real quick. Because some stuff that people acting like matter, and it don't matter no more. And we just got to say, well, that don't really matter no more. We got to tell the truth. So they ask her, this is in Time, about intersectionality, and I want to read what it says. It's basically a lens, a prism for seeing the way in which various forms of inequality often operate together and exacerbate each other. We tend to talk about race inequality as separate from inequality based on gender, class, sexuality, or immigrant status. Done mixed everything and it's a cobble wobble. What's often missing is how some people are subject to all of these and the experience is not just the sum of its parts. See, what's missing from here is that what you're seeing in terms of race now, and this is why we have to let this go. And I don't care. I have a lot of people talking about what it was meant to be, whatever. I don't care what it was meant to be. I care about what it is right now and how it's moving. It don't work because what has happened with race in terms of specifically ADOS, we're so bottom cast that we're like an outlier to that. Now, maybe you could put that with, like, I don't know, maybe if you were an immigrant and and maybe because you were from Honduras as opposed to being an immigrant from Czechoslovakia, maybe that would make a difference because you were black or brown. I don't know. Maybe if you did it with them, it would be different. But with us, we're a total outlier with all that. Don't work with us. Throw the whole thing in the trash can. Don't work. And you going for Warren, that didn't work either. A lot of y'all tried to do that. I just want to talk about first, before we get to any of it, before we get to the crux of who's winning and who's losing, how a lot of this stuff didn't work. You had Alicia Garza came out too. Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter was the big thing. She came out, didn't give you a boost. Some people don't have a boost. Some people don't have a rocket launcher. Some people can't put a battery in your back. Didn't work. And it's not just with Elizabeth Warren. Y'all remember Ben Dixon had the Bernie Bros, and that was supposed to be the black people for Bernie. And from what I saw before I came in here, Bernie wasn't doing too good. Let me see the last thing I saw. And fam, put up what you see. I know Tennessee came in. I know a few things came through, but I'm gonna just put this up and I'm gonna go through to the end. But I know some other stuff came through for those of you who hadn't seen kind of like where we are so far. And I think he after that Biden got Tennessee, right? Didn't he? Somebody said 6-2 Biden. Huh? The boomers is talking, ain't they? They talking. Now I don't hear the Bernie Bros saying very much. Was that a fiction? See, let's just get to the crux of everything, people. Biden didn't have to even work hard. He ran around a little bit like he had a little bit of dementia on him with a bad record with Jim Crow Joe, everything we know about him. And he's still running the board. He ain't even got to do work. He running the board. I was watching CNN. They said half them states, he didn't even campaign in, and he's running the board with the black vote. So let me say something. You know, I said something in 2016 that some, I'm not going to call no names. But let me just tell you this. If I put something up and I leave it up on my YouTube, that usually is a good indicator I'm not ashamed of it, and I've said it before. So let me tell you what I said. In 2016, I said, you know, we let Bernie down. Black people. Because there was no ADOS. There was no data. There was no, because Antonio me and Antonio wasn't talking. So what I'm saying is, at that point, it was just Bernie. In a Bernie versus Hillary contest, I'll go Bernie, right? You have to read the moment, though. This is a different moment. This is a different moment. We got ADOS. We got a reparations movement. We got reparations on the national stage. The moment has changed. We have the data to show that we're a bottom cast. We got all these new studies. It's a different moment. So we went from like, yeah, man, we should have been with Bernie and we let Bernie down to like, Bernie, you let us down. We went to a different moment. We went to a very different moment now. We're at a different moment. We're at a moment where like, oh my God, we opened the door. We got a shot. We got to run through it. You people who put up these videos don't hear the difference between a moment because you're trying to get a job with somebody. You disappoint me. But that's not the point I'm trying to make right now. I don't feel well, but I'm trying to make a different point. The point I really want to make is you have to understand timing. And Bernie didn't do great. You got a lot of energy, especially young energy. But there's no reason, given the fact that you passing out money like you passing out money, there is absolutely no reason that you didn't show up for the ADOS conference. You got two Negroes. You got Killer Mike and Nina Turner. Them two Negroes, real. And I know they told you. I know they did. That's a fact. There's no reason what you're experiencing tonight is your unwillingness to fold in a reparations agenda into your agenda. Look at what I saw. I was watching TV. And forgive the thing there. But it says, look at that, 44% black. And look at who that is, that blue, that's your boy. That's Biden. The only way you come outside of that, Bernie, is with us. You can't do it. It ain't gonna work. You're trying to do it. You're trying to hodgepodge this thing where kind of class is the fix to race. And, you got to think seriously about us, too. You got to think seriously about us, too. I found it disrespectful when Bernie said what he said every time they asked him about reparations. Well, I don't know what that means. We've been here 400 years, bruh. You don't know what that means? It's not like this some new idea. We've been talking about reparations since Reconstruction. You don't know what that means? That's disrespectful. See, the one thing that the Biden people have in common that they know how to do that you don't know how to do, Bernie, you won't even show respect. And respect for you, who is a leftist who's passing out money left and right, is a plan. HR 40 is not a black agenda. You don't say, well, I'm just gonna support whatever the Medicare for all, or I'm just gonna support whatever they have in Congress. I'm gonna look for a commission or a committee. Now, if you want to do it, you do it. If you're gonna do it, then you do it. And you showed us an unwillingness to do it. Now you're paying the price because this man was the VP for the black president. And I'm gonna talk not all boomers, because we know I got the smartest boomers out there, but y'all are an anomaly. My boomers are an anomaly. I'm just gonna say it like that. Y'all be working and trying to figure stuff out, and that ain't everybody. Understand that. Black voters and late deciders powered Biden's North Carolina show. And now let me just say something real quick. Let's all rewind in our minds that Obama, in order to get elected, Obama had to turn some red states blue. If you can't even beat Biden in these states that, like these, when you talk about the Carolinas, when you talk about the South, mind you, the South is where most of us Negroes are. But when you talk about that and you're not beating Biden, chances are you're not going to do well in that state in general in terms of black turnout. And you need an enormous amount of black. You need Barack Obama kind of black turnout to do this. That's what you need. I don't know what you think, but that's what you need. How are you going to do that without a specific agenda? We don't see these people over here. Biden will just lie to us. And we'll believe the lie. Some of us will. Yeah, I just, what time is it? I've always been for the blacks. And sometimes I had to negotiate with other people to be for the blacks, but I've always been for the blacks. I was Obama's VP. Didn't you love Obama? You loved him, didn't you? I was there. I was his bud. Oh, and speaking of Obama, he's been playing behind the scenes. You know, you have to kind of admit, one of the things you have to admit at this point is that Obama was a failure. Let's just go through the whole thing, shall we? Bernie, how you gonna do that? He got the first black president running around making sure that all the moderates go for him. As Democrats begin to coalesce around Joe Biden as the moderate alternative to Bernie Sanders, there appears to be a quiet hand behind the rapid movement. Former President Barack Obama, I wish he would get somewhere and be still. Obama spoke with his former vice president after he handily won the South Carolina primary on Saturday, and with Pete Buttigieg on Sunday when he dropped out of the Democratic race, according to people familiar with the cause. See, they said the signal has been sent in the past 36 hours that he sees Biden as the candidate to back, and they don't need Obama to say it publicly or privately. You see, Obama has always been a problem. And I think one of the things we have to do is, before we get to what Bernie needs to do, we have to get honest about Obama. He's getting behind the moderate candidate because the whole thing with the Democratic Party is like, who can win? Who do we need to win? And I think, no, we have to get behind, as ADOS, an agenda that wins for us. And whoever adopts that agenda, that's who wins. Right? That's the idea that we have to get in our heads. I heard somebody say, and I'm not going to mention no names. I try not to sometimes. Somebody said on Twitter, well, you know, people got a lot of stuff to say on Twitter. It's a slur. It's a slur to say that older black people are voting for Biden because they are low info. It's not that they are low info. It is that they have seen things that we've never witnessed, you know, and never will witness, and that's why they're making that choice. They're wise, and they have wise counts, and that's why they're wise elders, all of them. And I would caution people who don't interact on a daily basis with other black people at a certain level, with regular black people, regular elders, from day to day. If you don't interact with those people, I don't think you have anything to say. If you don't talk to regular black people day in and day out about what they think and engage them, I need you to shut up. Because what they will tell you is the same thing they told Tremaine Lee of MSNBC. They'll tell you the same thing they told him. He said, Tremaine Lee discusses Alabama voter priorities. After almost 4 years of Donald Trump, a sense of normalcy. Let's get back to normal. That's what they told him now. That's not me talking. That's him. Let's get back to normal, a steady ship. But the other thing they wanted, talking to these black Biden supporters, he in Alabama, the other thing was decency. People said time and time again they wanted a decent candidate. Now, I will tell you something. So whoever said that stupid stuff about stop saying that they don't lay low information. And it's not anything racist about it either. I would say I was the first person to say when the Tea Party came, that the Tea Party was low information. They didn't have enough information. It ain't nothing. America's a low information country. We just can't afford to be low information voters. We have to be agenda driven voters. And us, like, understand, every movement challenges the elders. Every movement does it. You can't sit your comfortable butt somewhere and tell me what I can't do. When I live where you don't live. When I interact with people that you would never interact with. You can't tell me that. You can't tell me what I can't do and what I don't know. You don't know. You move back into the hood and move back into a black neighborhood and then tell me what they think. You're interacting with only black professionals and then telling, well, you can't say that. That's a slur. That's a slur against black people. They've just seen so much and they know so much and they're wise. Don't go around doing that. There are no sacred cows. We have to be an agenda-driven group. Now, me and you can fight and we can discuss and have a serious debate about what our agenda needs to look like. But you can't tell me that an agenda is for normalcy and decency. Normal was never good for us. Normal was never good for ADOS. being normal. I don't want to go back to normal. We still don't, even if you put a white president up tomorrow, you put Bernie in there, you can put whoever you want in there. You can put Elizabeth, you can put, who the hell is Biden, you can put them all in there. Put them in there. Going back to normal don't help me. It don't help nobody watching this show. But wait a minute, Yvette. So why would a boomer say that? Because we seen the chart. Who holds nearly all the wealth in the ADOS community? Who? Right here. That's who got it. See that top percentile right there where it just plummets up. See that 75.4? That's the boomers. They still got pensions. All kinds of stuff. I'm gonna pull up another thing, but they still got, see, it's not the fact all this stuff where they just seen what you ain't seen. No, it ain't that. It's the fact that you're comfortable. You are comfortable. You got your little Social Security and you chilling out and you got a fan in your house and they gonna put in an air conditioner next week and you comfortable. You don't want nothing to change, and we need everything to change. Right? That's what this is. So stop fetishizing people. Now, and you can talk about millennials or criticize them all day. I won't say anything. I will not say anything. But stop fetishizing black boomers as if they are beyond. Well, you can't talk. See, it's almost like you saying something real bad about them, and you it's a slur for you to criticize them because they just been where we ain't been. I want you to look at this chart. White household wealth is 20 times that of blacks and Hispanics. Now go all the way back. You see what normal is for them versus what it is for us. I want you to look at what white was back in 1989 versus black. You see how that's just skyrocketed? They're not taking any of that into anything, into account. You know, if you do the student loan forgiveness stuff, what Bernie talks about, he said he's a class guy. Don't worry about class. Well, what you doing, Bernie, in terms of student loan debt forgiveness is about the upper class. Most of us, especially in the ADOS community and the black community, we don't have degrees. I have a degree, and I'm saying that because I'm supporting, because I know most of the people in my community don't. You're not dealing with class. You still trying to spread this reparations around and stabilize whiteness. Student loan forgiveness is a gift to 50 million whites and a few blacks. This is normalcy. See, 1989, and it don't go back further than that. I want to go back all the way back before 1989. Y'all came of age in that, where you were close enough to white people to feel it, and you got that. How are we going to do this? Understand, we're talking about student loan forgiveness. I have a degree. Antonio has a degree. But only 16%. Only 16% of ADOS have a degree. So 33% of whites have a 4-year, and they have 190 million people. Understand what I just said to you. Only 16% of us have a degree. 33% of whites have a 4-year degree. And understand how many more of them there are than us. 190 million people. Who does that money go to? So when you talk about Ben Dixon, everybody say, I got college loans, I ain't got no medicine, and you gotta think about the whole group. You gotta think about the ADOS collective. Can't think of just about yourself and the degree that you got, that you paid for. Or that you ain't paid for, that you paying for every month, or that's in default. Because you run around here making videos to support Bernie. We have to become a group that operates as a collective based on a specific agenda. Not a group that gets caught up and we're stupid and we let everybody else get our reparations. They get all the loan forgiveness. It goes to the majority of them, 16% of us. Stabilize that whole group. And we sit here stuck. And see, that's Bernie's problem. Bernie, you should have been at the ADOS conference. You tried to poo-poo us. Thought you was going to run through us this time. I know Nina and them. I know Mike, Killer Mike talked to you. I know everybody done talked to you. Nah, you thought you was good. I think tonight, looks like you might not be good. Biden getting these votes, he ain't even having to work. But let me tell y'all something before I forget. Don't go contacting Bernie them and saying on behalf of ADOS. A lot of people did that last time and made a mess. And like I'm not asking you to. I have already been in contact with that campaign. They know what I need them to know. Everybody knows what I want to happen, what Antonio wants to happen. Don't go running around and don't do that. Please don't do that. We're not chasing people no more. Election day is gonna come. It is what it is. And if you don't have our agenda at the top of that at the top of that ticket, we're not gonna have your name at the top of our ticket. It's gonna be dimmed down ballot. We don't care if we gotta go in and just vote for the dog catcher. It is what it is. Voting is an exchange. It is not a gift. I stand by that. Anybody got a problem with that? I don't know how much I care. Yes, I do. I don't. I don't. You out there voting for normalcy and decency. That's not an agenda. That's some, have a piece of sweet potato pie and some lemonade and talk to me real good. That same thing that happened. Remember, do you all remember when I brought the book in where the people was talking about Bill Clinton? God, if I would have thought about it before I came in here, I would have brought it in today. Again. But they were talking about Bill Clinton and talking about and Donna Brazile was talking about he ate black eyed peas. I ain't never seen a white man eat the black eyed peas like that. He ate the same thing I had with pork chop and black eyed peas. And then there was somebody in there talking about how he understood us. We're back there again. Understand, we went through everything we went through with the Clintons, and we right back at ground zero again with this Biden stuff all over again. And Bernie wants to position himself as an alternative to Biden without giving us policies that are an alternative to Biden. So you got these two little hodgepodge things going on. You got, on one hand, you got Joe Biden on the moderate side, which is really just trying to cobble us together with conservative white people. So you want to take a bunch of conservative white people and put them with Negroes, and we all gonna be in a basket, and you gonna put that out. I don't know what kind of mix that is, but it don't taste right. Something's off. You got another one over here. You got Bernie. You want to put us with a bunch of white leftists who want to erase race because they ain't got no, you can't, because everything I tell you I need to fix with race, you give me a class solution. So you got Bernie over here and you want to put me with a bunch of white leftists, put the Negroes over here with the white leftists or the white conservatives. You haven't given me a place to go. And let me tell you, Bernie, you need us over there because all the boomers have gone with Biden tonight. They have gone with normalcy and decency. He's a nice man. I need a nice man because we just got to get Trump out of there. Trump crazy. We just got to get Trump. We just got to if we get Trump out, everything be fine. As you collect your Social Security check and pension. And your grandson drives Uber and Lyft or deliver stuff with the Instacart or whatever. Or is unemployed or is in Parchment prison. You want to keep stuff the same. I can't imagine. You know, student loan debt forgiveness may increase the racial wealth gap. How about that? So instead of reparations, we get an increase in the racial wealth gap. That's not what we want, Bernie. And I'm going to tell you by what I've seen tonight. Anything else come in, family, that I didn't know was more than what's going, anything else, any other news that I missed. But Bernie, I can tell you that's not what I want. And like, as a leftist who's just giving away the whole treasury, I don't understand. I don't know what you're doing. Don't make much sense to me. But you can keep doing it at your own peril. Right? What says about Biden? Let me bring this up a little bit bigger. This is what I was saying. He didn't have to do nothing. This is just like free stuff right here. Come on now. He has basically spent nothing. We are seeing him winning and doing very little, very well in states that he did not spend a dime. That is a new phenomenon. Biden is doing stuff. They just, we're not doing this. We're not doing this Bernie stuff. So what you gonna do, Bernie? I'm waiting to hear from you. Child, don't nobody. Democrats always win California though. Somebody said Bernie win California. I appreciate it. But yeah, I mean the most liberal. And it usually the most liberal wins California. I I have to look that up, but I'm pretty sure California is its own little monster. No offense to the Californians. I'm just saying it has its own way of doing politics. And don't nobody care. The scholars came out. The black scholars came out for Bernie. Ain't nobody care. The Black Lives Matter, Lisa Garza came out for Warren. Ain't nobody care. Didn't matter. Biden ain't even got a campaign. He just show up. He show up. He forget half the stuff. He a little dementia on it. Got a little dementia on it. Don't nobody care. It don't matter. Like all this gatekeeping stuff, all these endorsements, it don't matter. The Bernie bros, some of y'all might get fired. Some of y'all might, you were supposed to bring the Negroes in. Some of y'all, you might not even, some of them might even, the Negroes on the Biden team. I ain't even got to work, and I don't even need you either. It's a shame that we don't go with an agenda. That's a shame. And even with Clyburn, y'all remember what Clyburn did? Did y'all see the tweet I put up? What Clyburn did? Let's talk about that for one quick second. Clyburn came in there and said, I don't know why everybody's talking about reparations as monetization, as money. I don't know why we did that. It's repair. It's just repair. It ain't got to be money. $40 acres and a mule. We've gone to 40 acres and a mule we ain't got to really get nothing. You ain't got to get a Negroes nothing. Just prepare some stuff. Put some money into what Negroes live. That's just put money into citizens. All citizens should get investments in where they live. That's what we're looking at. I just like, we have come to a place where the people that we I don't even know, the people that we support or the people who represent us aren't their own people. They are sort of like tools of white aspiration. So when you look at Clyburn, he is like this tool of white aspiration. I'm here to be a tool to help whichever white candidate who they tell me I got to support. I'm here to be a tool to help them as opposed to an independent agent, right? Which is just, and understand something when I talk about Clyburn. If Bernie Sanders had come to us with a real black agenda with reparations as the heartbeat, we would have made it our business, our agenda. I don't care if I gotta go to South Carolina and mobilize a group of thousands. We would have neutralized Clyburn. I don't care whether we had to debate him on the public steps. We would have just gone there and said, this man is wrong and he should be representing you. You haven't given me a reason to go there and do that. You haven't given me a reason to activate all these ADOS chapters and say, this is what we fight for. This is the direction in which we move. You haven't given me a reason, Bernie. And if you don't give me a reason, I ain't doing it. No, I'm not just going along to get along because Biden's worse. No, it's not good enough. It never was good enough. If you had given me a reason, all you had to do was give me a reparations agenda surrounded by a good black agenda. It's all you had to do. We could have worked out the details. It's all you had to do. But all you did, even when the black people around you were pushing for something, all you did was give me some class stuff and your butt to kiss. I'm not going to do it just because Biden's awful. No. That day is over with. It's over with. And we could have done it. We could have mobilized ADOS in South Carolina to make sure and do a mass education plan and been on the steps talking all day about why this was. We play the games that Clyburn plays better than him. We know what he do. We play him better than you. We can do things that you can't do. But you never gave us reason to get involved. You never gave us reason to be mobilized. So guess what? Tonight is your night, Bernie. You let us down. All this reparations, and you were listening to James Carville, I guess. That lizard climbed out from up under a rock and started talking. Go hide, child. And you listen to that. That's some you left this on everything else, but you can't find no reason for reparations and redress. So now you kind of land where you land. Maybe it ain't a good night for you. Maybe it shouldn't be a good night for you. It's a good night for this guy though. And it might be a good election cycle for him. If you don't get your stuff together. I mean, do you really know what ADOS looks like when reparations is on the table as a give? Do you know how we come out when the thing that we've been asking for and the thing that we deserve when the debt is on the table? Do you know what our turnout looks like once I get out there and Tone gets out there and starts explaining what reparations means to everybody in South Carolina and people with hookworm and people with all kind of stuff going on and how we're going to raise your wealth level and have protections in place and ownership in place? Do you know what turnout looks like for you, Bernie? With a real reparations agenda? Do you know what it looks like when we say first thing you're going to do when you become president is issue that apology, that official apology for slavery? Do you know what that looks like? Know how you wipe the floor with this guy? Now, there's going to be families fighting inside the house now. There's going to be families inside the house. It's going to be a rumble and a tumble. But I always said that the first fight, insofar as ADOS goes, the first fight is going to be internal. Because some people are seeking normalcy and decency. And I don't know how Joe Biden has ever been decent. When he was, what was he decent when he was in favor of, when he didn't want nobody to be bused? When was he decent? When he was saying that segregationists, they wasn't bad and we just got to negotiate. What was it? When the mass incarceration, what was the decency? You know, Bernie always wants to talk about I'm a coalition. Yeah, but you can't win without ADOS. You can't win without black people. And let me just tell you that, Bernie. Ain't no coalition, ain't no win without high black turnout, because you're not going to get see, most of the time the win is, what happens with the win most of the time is you get a moderate Democrat and they can get enough white voters in there. You're not going to get that. You got white leftists. That's not enough just white voters in general. You got to have us in mass numbers. You don't get it without a reparations agenda. Not going to happen. It's going to be over. And I'm not going to feel no kind of way. You know, Latinos vote like 30% Republican, Bernie. We're the most loyal to Democrats. You can go and talk DACA all day long, Bernie. Ain't nobody more loyal to the Democratic Party than Negroes. And you're putting us in a space. See, Negroes I've been talking to black people. Black people are already kind of shaky. Older black people, they don't even know what socialism is, but they don't like it. They don't even know. You need somebody like me to explain why you might, hey, don't get scared. It can't be no little white boy with a little rose, Bernie. They can't explain it to him. It's got to be me. It's got to be one of these ADOS in my chat. Can't be you. You scared Negroes. Negroes don't do well when you come in, you have, no, who that? What are you doing? Who said, what he said? No, can't be you. You know, I was at the National Baptist Convention, right? And we were talking about a reparations convention. You know, so you need to have somebody who can go in there. I spoke to the convention. You need to have somebody who can go in there and talk to ADOS and say, hey, Bernie has a reparations agenda, and this is what reparations means to your life. You can't do it. You can't do it with the people with the roles. You can't do it with class-based politics and policies. It's not going to get us out. I'm just telling you. You on your deathbed. I don't care what today means. And well, you say you're going to push on. It don't matter, Bernie. If you don't have a reparations agenda, you in quite a pickle, Bernie. I don't care who told you what. Ain't nobody opening the doors for these white boys with these ponytails and these little roses. No. And don't nobody want to hear even your black people talk about how a job guarantee. Don't nobody want to really hear that. Because we know even if you get to fight for 15 and you get $15 an hour, what's happened to a lot of our people who've gotten that? We've heard from them. They cut their hours. We know we need a reparations agenda, not just that. We understand. So, fam, I'm gonna go to the calls a little bit earlier tonight, give you all a chance to chime in because my throat is kind of a little irritated tonight anyway. So I'm going to go to a quick break as usual. And go to give me 1 second. You know how we do it. We'll go to the calls and let everybody call in. And yeah, I don't know. I don't know what kind of pathway Bernie is looking for, but I just don't see it. Now you can let me know if you see it and we can talk about it. Now I have no problem talking about it. I just don't see it. Without a reparations agenda, without reparations as the heart of a black agenda, I just don't see it happening. So I'm gonna let y'all call. We're gonna have the conversation and we'll figure it out. And we'll talk again tomorrow night. We might talk about it some more tomorrow night because we'll still have a show tomorrow. So we'll see. But I'm. What's going on, fam? Somebody asked me, Yvette, where's your tea? You know what? I was drinking chamomile, and I figured chamomile wouldn't be good for an energized show. I was knocking me to sleep. Anyway, I'm gonna go to the calls and make sure I got this straight. Be off when you be a little off. Anyway, fam, let me go to this. I think I got it straight, and we're gonna go to the first call. I am going to 917. What's your name? Where you calling from? What's on your mind?
Yvette to the call now. What's good?
What's going on, fam? How you doing?
I'm good. It's Divine from Brooklyn.
What's going
on? I like that.
What's going on in Brooklyn, fam?
Man, and man, I'm just out here doing this work. You know what I'm saying? Just doing this work. This is everybody's judgment day. You know, comes quicker than they expected to, and you know, I just think this is Bernie's.
Ooh.
And you know, just real quick, like I said, we just out here doing the work in the chapters. We got a couple of boomers in the ADOS NYC, so I want to shout them out. The Wilcoxes, you know, they boomers that get it. So we know all boomers ain't bad, but them boomers in the South, I don't know what they doing.
But our boomers be getting it all the time. Like, our boomers get it. Like, they don't be like, but they get it because they access information and like they know. Like, I had boomers at the ADOS conference who like were on it. And they were trying to convince other boomers like that, like this is the way to go. And it's just like, why make work so hard for everybody?
Well, listen, we already know we're a data-driven movement. So when you steeped in the data, you know you can't help but the truth can't help but hit you in the face. So you can't really deny it, even if you wanted to.
Yeah, that's true. That's true, fam. You ain't lied that time.
Yeah, but real quick, a story about like I said, we out here doing the work. So we had a reparation session, you know, making the case for ADOS.
Okay.
And just to get a glimpse of you know this boomer type mindset, you know, we had a back and forth with an older woman in the audience, you know, during the question and answer, and you know, she was just intent on fighting the Democratic down ballot. And she really believed in her heart that it was better to sacrifice everything that we need as ADOS just to get Trump out. And as we went back and forth and I'm asking her the questions, I'm letting her go. I'm letting her get it all out and just breaking it down because I want her to see the logic for herself. You know, and what her rationalization was. Because she was like, yeah, this tax is going to elect Trump again. I was like, the only way you can tell me that it's going to elect Trump is if you know right now, 100%, that no Democratic candidate will come to our demands and give us a black agenda and reparations.
Yeah.
I was like, so do you know that today? And she said, well, that's most likely. So I was like, so if that's most likely, why would you, as an ADOS woman, vote for somebody that you are more than likely, aware of that will not give us what we need?
But it's
at the end of that, she would go ahead.
But you know, it goes back to what Antonio said about why do you keep blaming us for getting him in office? Like, it's the white voters are the ones who overwhelmingly vote Republican and swing Republican. Like, this is white people who put Trump in there. Like, why do we always get the blame? Well, oh my God, we vote over 90% Democrat. Come on, like, stop blaming us on a bad day. That's our day. That's our number. No, don't blame us. You got to blame them. They put him in there, and it's really their job to get him out of there. It's our job to get what we're supposed to get from politics. But go on, I'm gonna let you finish. I'm sorry.
Wait, no. Please, listen. You ain't never got to apologize for interrupting me. So even at the end of it all, her logic was not enough to sway her. She was emotional about getting Trump out. But the one thing I will say to everybody else doing the work and anybody else aspiring to do the work, never get discouraged when talking to people, especially in groups or a crowd or at a session, because sometimes the truth isn't for the person that you're speaking with. Because at the end of that, she was, like I said, she was hell-bent on still just voting blue no matter who. But a young lady behind her, she got it. And she was calling out saying, no, that don't make any sense. Why don't we vote for nothing? the end of the session, she approached me and the minister that was doing the information session with me and was like, yeah, this makes sense. I see where y'all going. The time is now for a movement like this. And so a lot of times it's not for the person that you're talking to.
Yeah.
A lot of times somebody else around you will get it. And when that person gets it, that's who you move forward with.
It's not always for the person around you, for the person you're talking to, the people around you. And understand, fam, I know sometimes you really want to get mad, and if you want to get mad, that's the best time to just move on. Like person to person, because people fight too. But that's the best time to just move on. But like, make the best case you can make. Not just for the person, like you said, but for the person who is around them. Because what we're really trying to do, fam, I hope the seeds grow as soon as possible. But what you got to do when you can't get it right now, you got to plant a seed. You got to plant that seed down there, and you got to hope that this thing catches root and it germinates. But ain't no way for us to know for sure all the time. Like, you might not, that person might have to go home too and be like, well, let me think about this thing. Now, maybe they will, maybe they won't. But, like, don't get invested in, like, your mind got to be changed right now, because it's just like what you said, fam. Other people are always listening, and that's powerful.
Right, and sometimes you got to plant the seed for yourself. If nobody comes on board, sometimes you just got to reiterate it to yourself so that you know you're not crazy. With the tactic.
Yep.
And just watching some of these Bernie brothers that you brought up real fast, and this will be my last statement. A lot of the Bernie brothers, when Bloomberg first got into the race, and they were talking about that it was looking like they were setting the race up for him and not Biden, because like you said, Biden, you got a little bit of dementia on him. I think it's more than a little bit, but definitely a little bit of touching him. A lot of them, when you look at some of their channels and some of their internet cable shows like The Hill and things of that nature, they were saying literally, if the nominee was Bloomberg and they allowed him to buy this election, that they would not vote for the moderate candidate, and they would vote down ballot just to get their point across.
Yep.
And so what's crazy is the hypocrisy.
Yep. We can't do it, but they can. We can't do it.
Right, exactly. We can't do it. We got to vote blue no matter who. But for them, if there's nothing on that agenda for them, they can vote down ballot. And they were saying, listen, I hope we can vote down ballot, and I hope that what we do destroys the Democratic Party because they don't deserve our vote. Yeah, when we say it, it's the worst thing ever. But when they say it, it's the best strategy since sliced bread. So the hypocrisy is crazy, and listen, Judgment Day is upon them. And like you said, if he did what he was supposed to do, and come bend the knee to ADOS and reparation of the black agenda, he wouldn't be where he at right now.
You're right. And we asked, and I know there are people around him who want him to take this more seriously, and here we are, and we're not gonna budge. Like, we're not gonna budge. Like, that's what happens every election cycle. You have a black group or whatever, and they say we need X, Y, Z, and we need this, and then when it comes down to it, we shucks. We tried, but we didn't get everything we want. But we can. I remember when they turned Mitt Romney into Trump. I remember hearing, well, we can't let Mitt Romney get in there. I remember that.
Talk about it. Everybody been Trump before Trump.
Everybody been Trump before Trump. Well, we just can't even, they won't even let you discuss, like, well, hold on, Obama need to do X, Y. Well, wait a minute, you must want Mitt Romney to get elected. No, I'm just saying that I need an agenda. But we just got to keep Romney out of there. He's Romney. I mean, there's no more milquetoast moderate, like, come on, man. Like, whatever. So, I don't even know. But you're right, fam.
Listen, we on that square, and we staying on it. And I can't thank you guys enough, you and Tone, for the direction. I can't thank all the ADOS chapters enough. I just love my family. We got work to do. This don't stop the show. And I can't wait. I can't wait to see y'all again at the conference. So,
all right, fam.
Brooklyn in the house, and shout out to all other callers that come next.
All right, fam. Appreciate you as always. Yeah, it's crazy out here. The way people act like we can't want what we want and demand what we demand. What y'all think y'all doing? Anyway, I'm going to 608. 608, what's your name? Where you calling from? What's on your mind?
Sister, Mother, Queen Yvette Carnell. Oh my goodness.
I like the way you talk.
Shepherd, ADOS, Wisconsin. Can't believe I made it through. Look, gotta give you your props. You and Tone have set the stage and set it on fire. I just want to make a quick statement just to see what you think about this,
Okay.
right? Because I don't want to like gaslight the show and start any drama or anything like that. But, you know, to me, my 45 years on this planet, America has really been homophobic. It's been racist. It's been sexist. Would it be fair to say that white America is not ready to elect a Jewish president, a woman president, or gay president because how we would look to the world?
What you mean?
And I'm just going to leave it at that. You know, in the great words of Tariq Nasheed, Yvette and Tone, y'all are godsends.
Thank you, Slick.
Thank you, sister. I'm going to let it go from there.
I appreciate that. You want to answer that question? Okay, I guess so. Let me just say this. Like, for the most part, like, I don't know how much I care. That's my, like, I care whether America is prepared to give us an agenda. I don't know, like, whether you get a Jewish president or a gay president or a woman president or ADOS president. My whole thing in terms of how I think is, am I going to get my agenda passed through this president? I don't really care who you are as a person, because Barack Obama had melanin and kinky hair and he wasn't nothing for us. I don't really care about that as much as, like, can I get you to pass this agenda? If I can get you to pass this agenda, I don't care. I don't care. Don't make me no never mind. You could be a white, heterosexual, male president for all I care. If you were serious about, you know what, it's time, Yvette. We're going to get this reparations agenda passed. We're going to get this black agenda passed. We're going to get serious about black politics. You doggone right. If I had a president like that, I don't know how much I care about all the other stuff. That's just my thought. And I think, you know, people talk about identity politics a lot. I'm just an agenda. I think we just have to become very agenda driven. And that's where I am with it. Like, I don't, you know, there are a lot of countries that have female presidents, all kind of other stuff. So I don't think it has anything to do with how we look to the world. The world got a lot of stuff going on. America's going to do what America's going to do. But America's going to do what you push to do. And we haven't pushed enough. We kind of acquiesce, well, all right. Well, I guess I gotta. No, I don't feel like that. I'm not in that kind of mood today. So I'm going to 213. 213, what's your name? Where you calling from? What's on your mind?
I'm just saying that this is Samantha from ADOS LA.
Hey.
Samantha Angelique. So we've been talking a lot about boomers, but we're forgetting a very, very important part of our group, the silent generation.
I know. I was talking. I brought them up one show. One show I brought them up, but I didn't bring them up enough. You right about it. Go ahead. Go.
Yeah, man. So my grandmother is from the silent generation. So today I was talking to her about the voting thing, and she said, we ain't never got nothing. We ain't never gonna get nothing. And that's just how it is. And I looked at her and said, okay. Thank God our ancestors didn't believe that, because we'd still be slaves.
Yeah.
So I couldn't even ask her who she was going to vote for, who she voted for. But I know before I talked to her, she was going to vote for Bloomberg. And I said, how are you going to vote for Bloomberg when your son is a drug addict who's been in and out of jail for the past 30 years and just got out last month? So when I tell you, like, that generation, like, even after we had a full conversation, she was still like, well, hopefully God will just get us somebody who can beat Trump. And I said, but all the other candidates have similar issues. I don't understand. So it's not, we got a lot of people to work on. It's not just the boomers. Like, we still got these people in their 80s who are still holding on to life, and they don't get it. They don't get it at all.
Yeah, and you know what? Like, let me just say this. Like, some of them, like, came around in an era where the best way I can put it is like, you know, everything's moving really fast now, and we take for granted that, like, everything has always moved fast, hasn't it, Yvette? No, everything has not always moved fast. Everything has not always gone fast. Like, life, like, when I look at my parents, are actually silent generation, because my parents had me at 35. So when I look at that generation, like when I look at my parents' life, did nothing change. Like, honestly, like my parents worked factory jobs. They went to work every day. They came home. Everything was everything. They packed their lunch, right? They cooked. My mama cooked Sunday dinner. They packed their lunch during the week, and and then they went off. I remember one time I had to snatch one of their packed lunches. Like, you ate up all the food. You packed up all the food. I'm eating this. So you can't do that. I was always a little gangster. I'll take your lunch. But anyway, that's not the point. The point is, like, it was a repetitive kind of life. There was no having to shift and move and be nimble. It's a different world. And part of what I think happens is that they don't understand that this is a different world and how quickly this world moves. Like, if you work the same job and you worked up to a place in your life and it was always the same thing every day. Every morning you got your coffee. You went to work. You came home. Your wife cooked dinner after work. Y'all did the same thing every day for 40 years or whatever until you retired. You kind of believe that life is one way. Life is only one way, right? Because in your lifetime, things didn't change, and things certainly didn't change fast. And I don't think that they have caught up to where we are now, where everything has changed. You can't have no job where you don't have no education and go to that job every day, and that job's going to be there until you retire, and you're going to be able to buy a house or a couple houses with it and be totally comfortable. That don't happen no more. And like, they haven't caught up to our lives. And and that's a real problem for us. And in terms of what they think about us. And I'll say the other thing is too, I think sometimes when you get to that point, sometimes when you get to that point in life, you have more years behind you than in front of you, right? Like, that's something I think about all the time. Like, I'm not young, I'm a Gen Xer. That means that's middle age. Oh, I'm at the point where I probably got a little more, behind me than in front of me. Like, I think what happens when people get all the way to the top of that point, though, is that they're just like, I want things to be stable for me. And I think what has to happen, and my prayer for me and the rest of the ADOS who are in this chat, anybody listen to me, is that when we get to that point, when you got them many years behind you, what you have to do is, okay, I'm about done here with this life. What do I have to do for the people who will come? Not what I do to make myself comfortable. What do I have to do? What is my responsibility now for those who are coming after me? What do they need? How often do I talk to them? Not just talk to myself and figure out what I want or what I need. What do they need? And what do they need access to? I need to talk to them because what I'm doing now is for them. There's not enough of that going on. They think they know, but they don't know.
True.
They think they know, but they don't.
And they don't listen. But I'm going to get off the line and let the next person call in. Thank you, Yvette.
No problem. I appreciate it. Let me get this right here really, really quickly. I don't know why that song is always the song in my head. Raggedy little song. Anyway, going to the next call, I am going to 310, what's going on?
What up? This Tone Talks.
What's up, Tone?
We're going to have a bit of a discussion, or a little chat, a little fireside chat. Can you pull up that economics chart first, and then I sent you a couple of images of Biden, and then I'm going to end with the USA Today article. But while you're doing that, just pull up that economics chart. I'm going to say a couple things to y'all, because everybody seems like the same age. But you got to understand that Bernie Sanders is 78. He's 78, y'all. You got to also understand that Biden is 77. He's 77. Let me give you a ruler so you understand that Bill Clinton today is 73. He was president in the 90s. Bill Clinton is 73 today. That means when he was president, he was prime age. Obama is only 58. Something going on, y'all, that's bigger than what y'all are really seeing right now. And I sometimes slow things down because I don't think we understand that black life lives in the shadow of white life. So what's going on right now, if I had to really explain it, is this wealth is at 113 $19 trillion, right?
Mm-hmm.
White folks got 100 plus of it. So white people that are 40 and 50 are living through their 70-year-old. So they okay with having a 70-year-old president. What we're doing is treating our black boomers the same way, and they're not going to leave us the same amount of wealth. So many times won't leave us anything. There's a whole game being played here. Because when you get 78, you ain't supposed to be running for president. Period. Nobody wants to talk about that. It is quite a phenomenon that a man that is 78 years old is running around here with all these youth folks. I broke down how what he's doing with the understand that in a world where there's homeless people and you owe reparation, the last place you start when you talk about doing class-based policy is with the elite. And when you're talking about forgiving student debt, you're talking about the middle and the elite. But understand, you're not talking about raceless, you're talking about white middle and elite because they got 30% of the degrees. 30% of them got degrees. Only 16% of us, but we only have 32 million people. They got 190 million. So all the money gonna go to them, and they already have the money to to pay it off. We know that based on the recent data that's coming out, but we don't have the money to pay it off. So it's really just getting them to have their money so they stable. There's a whole game being played here.
Yeah.
See, it's not just about black boomers. It's about the respect and reverence that comes from. It comes from an idea that this boomer is going to take care of you because that's the moment we eat. The reason that's important is because in this chart that I'm showing you, in 1990, white folks only had about $24 trillion. That's it. That's a lot of money. If we were to push the chart back, in 1980 they had 11. In 53 they only have $1 trillion. But what that means is that black zero is that much closer to how much the overall white number is. Damn. Tone is talking. See, we at a space now where white people just took off. And the way that you fill that gap in is with the time between the eras. Ask Clyburn's daughter. Y'all know about Clyburn's daughter?
What about?
And the job she got, you know, she worked at the, one of them government agencies, the one that was net neutrality. She on the board. You know how she get on the board? She got her a boomer hook. See, Clyburn ain't worried about nobody but just his daughter. Now, the reason why I'm bringing all that up is there's a whole lot of analysis and thought that has to go behind this. There's a lot of individual internal in the house thought that has to go behind this. But one thing we absolutely see is far too many people that are aberration for black folks are speaking for black folks genuinely. They got a boner hook like Clyburn or Maxine Waters or somebody who's going to boost them right out of blackness. Valerie Jarrett. I'm saying all this because there's a whole lot of little games being played. And if you're not really aware of the data, you can get lost. So you pull up the Biden image with him and Obama. I did a satire tweet, y'all. I said he might pick Obama for VP. You know, when Obama started, we had 4.5 million millionaires, and now we got 12 million, almost all white folks. That's why UCLA is $50,000 for tuition for law school. And I made a joke that we might have 24 million at the end. That's normalcy. So the chart we just seen is normalcy. That is what South Carolina, where I think 8 of the census tracts that Clyburn represents are just moderate. Loudoun County, I want to see the numbers on Loudoun County and who they voted for. I bet you they voted for Biden. The feces in their backyard. And I'm saying this because one of the things that I want ADOS to not do today is this is not our failure, nor is it a failure. And I'm going to break that down. See, first, Biden still got to go on a stage. He still got a campaign, no? He's just winning on the fact that he's not Bernie Sanders. He's just winning on the fact that the DNC decided that he's going to be the guy. He is just winning on a bunch of phone calls that were made in the last 24 hours. But he still got to go on the stage now. And I don't think he got it, y'all. Out there looking like Deontay Wilder. I'm just telling you.
Don't make fun of Deontay like that. That man, that gypsy did him like that.
I'm just telling y'all that he ain't got it. I seen him talk tonight. Somebody jumped on the stage, Yvette, and he got shook up. They jumped on the stage, ran behind him with some kind of sign. He was malarkey. You know how you like to say it. When you watch, one thing I'll say is, I just take up energy. Bernie spoke tonight, and it felt like he had like a Bruce Springsteen concert. When Biden spoke, it looked like he was at Trump. You know when Trump got elected and he was in that high school gym?
Yep. He was surprised everybody else. I don't know how. I don't know what happened.
Biden has no energy.
Yeah.
Biden is running on being the other answer. He has to still go on the stage, y'all. And I don't think he has it. And I'm saying that to y'all so y'all understand that this is not a loss today. Now the second part is, hold on, let me whisper it to y'all, because everybody got to say something about Adolf. I heard a lot of people saying stuff about Yvette today about 2016.
They was talking.
In 2016, there was no reparations discussion. You cannot, it's hard because it's just basic logic. You cannot interject a decision against something that didn't exist at the time and was thought to be fantastical at the time. So you can't go back and just say, well, why didn't you pick reparations? It was Bernie and Clinton. Bernie and Clinton. That was the two choices then. And the radical ideas that Bernie was talking about were not set in as a normal even thought process. And we didn't have the time or the infrastructure ourselves, the internal little infrastructure we built to push this to our own interest. It all came about really quick. I'm talking right now. So now you can't look back at the woman who then took the fact that Bernie existed and expanded the discussion to include your family and say, well then why didn't you go against Bernie then? Nobody was going further left than Bernie at the time. And I would argue that reparations really isn't a left-leaning policy at all. But now we have Biden at the other side, and you have a black population voted for a man who ramped up and created incarceration. I'm just telling you, go read the article for yourself. It's the intercept. Joe Biden pushed Ronald Reagan to ramp up incarceration. The videos are in my last video where he says it. It's the Biden crime bill. The 94 crime bill was the Biden crime bill. That's who black people voted for. So if your grandmama voted for Biden, and then your little brother is in jail, and y'all been mad because he impeached me, y'all got a problem in the house. And I'm saying this because I just wanted to walk through some things because it's a lot of people talking. Another one was Steyer. Let me say this. I shout out the local chapters from ADOS LA to ADOS DC to ADOS Alabama. I seen y'all at Jubilee. ADOS LA setting up something with the California Congress lady and all y'all. And even you had people on Steyer's campaign. And I appreciate y'all going out there and doing those things. At the same time, for me personally, I never thought he was going to be president. What I wanted from him was him to actually project my version of reparations. That's what I wanted. Our version of reparations. A microphone for us to actually make the discussion. That was where we were trying to go, and some people internally were trying to make that happen. But when he loses, you can't put that on Adolf like me endorsed him, because we didn't endorse him.
No.
We didn't endorse anybody.
No.
Let me give y'all a win tonight, because I know y'all need a win. Man.
What? So.
See, Bernie thought he was going to go out there, do well enough, where he didn't have to do nothing for black people, and get enough of the black vote to justify him not doing nothing for black people. He done learned. So now where we're at, understand, like Yvette said earlier, we really don't need, and I'm not saying this to be disrespectful with anyone and their internal desires to work in the campaign. Go do what you do with your life. And I appreciate whatever you do. But we don't need, as a movement, for you to advocate for our sake to the Bernie Sanders campaign. Because at this point, and you can pull up the USA Today article, just like that came out yesterday. You know, God works in mysterious ways. The man wrote that article a week ago. For those who have read it, the professor, the little scattered article he wrote, he got laced up, Yvette, Shout out to Ben
He
O'Brien.
got shocked though. He
Paul
got
Sowers.
punched on.
Shout out to Paul Sowers. He edited it for me. You know, he be doing
Appreciate
that. He writes. He edited it for me. But these are my words. Essentially, what both Nina Turner and Killer Mike have both read it. This is the critical moment to leverage the fact that Bernie needs not just ADOS, but he needs an energy to galvanize a black vote that is way more powerful than any other subsection in the Democratic Party. Understand that the National Practice Convention, which represents 3.5 million members, made us their social mission. We didn't activate it on behalf of anybody. If we had activated it months ahead of time, we could have went into churches all throughout the same counties that Bernie is losing and explained a reparations plan that will allow for their families to be better. Explain why Biden isn't the choice. But see, when you're doing coalitions and you're worried about Latinos and they voted for Trump at a 30% rate, you don't really understand the numbers. Grassroots ain't always grassroots. I'm saying this because, again, Bernie Sanders is 78. Biden is 77. Obama is finished being president. He's 58. Clinton was president, 15, 20 years ago, and he's 73. They shouldn't be in the election. And so, see, they done made it so normal for old people to have everything that we don't even understand we don't have nothing. Now, I'm not saying that to berate black boomers, but I'm saying this is a failure, an abdication of responsibility. Let's pull up that first chart just to show that responsibility. This chart represents the career of Clyburn. This is Clyburn's career. This chart represents Obama's presidency. Understand, this chart represents your failure. It's locked in. I can't help you if you don't understand why when Yvette's parents are 40 years old in 1990, they don't need reparations. Look how close those lines are. We ain't got to talk about slavery.
And hold on, Tone. Hold on. Y'all could have had me and Tone, Bernie. Y'all could have had me and Tone in every black church saying just that to black people, but you didn't.
Hold on. Invited to every black church through the NBCA. Not walking in cold. Stop walking in there with a pamphlet. Be invited by the pastor to change the whole way that the congregation thinks. They already called us and said they're going to chapters. I said, y'all can't do no chapters till you watch the videos. From what we saw from the vote, they don't know what everything means. See, I'm just talking today a little bit. And I'm seeing this thing. And I don't think we all understand that Bernie needs us now. And he got to realize that. It's not our job to tell him. Killer Mike, I shout him out, not because of any particular policy, but because I talked to the man for 2 hours, 3 hours straight. Like just talking, getting the vibe. And he came a state over to come to the Angela Project, came on my show. He didn't have to do those things. I know internally there's been discussions. Yep,
I do too.
I talked to Nina Turner. We've had discussions with Nina.
I talked to Nina. Yeah, she's cool, and that's how I know that like the people around Bernie want the same stuff that we want. These are real black people. Like they not like the black people in other campaigns. It's like, where you from? Where you was? You was raised where? No, these is real black people. Like when you talk to them, you know, these is real people.
At the end of the day, it's all up to Bert.
Yep. It's up to him. It's not up to them. I can't blame. I'm not blaming Nina. I'm not blaming Killer Mike. I know y'all did what y'all was supposed to do, and I know y'all might still believe, well, this might be the best for us. But I know y'all did what y'all. It's up to him, though.
And I'm saying this to you, that the Democrats across the board, Bernie and Biden, they got a problem. They said I'm gonna leave it on this. They said on the exit polls for California, overall by races, Biden was getting 5% of the young vote. 5%, and Bernie was getting 7%. Understand that ain't no the turnout. If Biden is the nominee, they won't have no turnout. If Bernie is the nominee, they won't get enough black votes. I can only solve one of their problems, though.
Yep.
I'll leave it at that.
Thanks, Tony. I appreciate it. And I just want to. And the thing is, like, you know, it's always interesting to talk to people, and they always be like, "Well, Yvette, why don't you and Tone reach out to this person? Reach out." We have done most of the stuff y'all say do, and like, anytime we're advocating, I have never advocated anybody for a job, for a position. I could have got that, boo boo. I could have got a job or position. I have always said this is why you need a reparations agenda. This is why you need a black agenda, and this is what it should look like. Let me help you. I'm going to give you all the information, and I'm going to help you present it to whoever you need to present it to, whether it be a candidate or somebody who is holding this office or somebody in budget. That's what I've always done. I advocate here the same way I advocate when I have conversations with people. That's what I do. And I can tell you from the conversations that I have had that the black people who are working for Bernie, them good people. Now, we may disagree on certain things, but I think they good people at the heart. I think they want good stuff for black people. I think they just think Bernie's the way to do it. And I know that they presented the stuff that we talk about. But at the end of the day, this is Bernie's campaign to win or lose. It's not up to them. Only thing they can do is present that stuff to Bernie and see what he do with it. It is what it is. I'm going now to 617. 617, what's your name? Where you calling from? What's on your mind?
Hey, Yvette, it's Reggie. What's going
on, Reggie?
Oh, man, thank you for taking my call. Man, I love Super Tuesday. It's like the Super Bowl because, you know, I don't watch the NFL, but the Super Tuesday and the elections, that's my playoffs and Super Bowl. But it's real interesting, and I really agree with your point. I don't know if you got what I sent you about the income distribution. You've probably seen it before, but what I really noticed, you know, when you brought out, you know, Crenshaw or Ben Dixon or some of these other folks, that, you know, the Sanders campaign, the Warren campaign, and some of the other folks running around, it's like they really, I believe that they were successful in turning out the black voters that they targeted. Now, what I mean by that is, you know, the sassy blue checks, under the nonprofit industrial complex, other politicians, you know, Bloomberg is out buying folks. I believe they successfully turned out that electorate. The problem is, and we know the data, but they really don't understand what it means when you look at the income distribution. All you need for the entire family in the United States to be in the top 20% of black folks, for the entire family, is like around $63,000 for the whole family. But you have, you know, whether it's Bloomberg or Steyer or any other campaign, they're throwing $100K at one person and say, you go be the black. And they just go turn out that vote for that demographic. And you left 80% behind. It's like so far disconnected and removed from black people, and that's why they don't have no black outreach. It's a blue check talk to another blue check, and I'm going to talk to my soror, and I'm going to talk to my fraternity brother, and I'm going to go over here, and I'm going to talk to this professor, and I'm going to go have tea with Crenshaw, and I got the coalition, because you got all the identities, right? If we're talking
you got everything. You got the whole.
Like I got these orientations. I got this DACA one over here. I got this immigrant over here. And Bernie says, I got the coalition, but you forgot black folks. That's literally what happened. And it's like, and I was even looking at some of the so-called black outreach. Like you saw that foolishness with the Warren's barbershop outreach event.
I saw it. What was some little man in a barbershop talking or something? I'm not going to that barbershop.
But here's the hilarious part, and it is like, if people were looking into this, I looked into it as well. One of the barbershops that Warren sent the Black Panther guy to, the barbershop was in the same building as Warren's campaign office.
Negroes. There's one right over there. Did you see it?
I mean, and it was so horrible. It's like they're never there in the community talking to everyday black people. It's like they're talking to each other, retweeting each other, at conferences with each other, having dinner with each other, and like, I got the black vote. And it's like they're just so disconnected and lost. And like I said, it's just that intersectional con game and the intersectional bait and switch. And when Crenshaw first came out with it, and Collins came around developing it, other folks, they're talking about different matrices of oppressions, overlapping oppressions, but the matrix of oppression that everyone seems to forget in this entire conversation is slavery. Like, nobody has anything to say about that specific intersection, and then you wonder why you lose, because you don't account for that.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I agree, fam.
Go ahead, Yvette.
Thank you, Reggie. It's always insightful. Yeah, I think I agree with that. I think what happened. Thanks, Reggie. I appreciate it. I think what happened is, yeah, you depended on, like, I got these blue checks, and you thought these blue checks was gonna move, and like, no, the blue checks aren't moving us. And the people who are moving, like, I know people say, well, there was some millennials that voted for Biden too. I saw them too. I had a clip of them too. The millennials who would, or young people. I don't know if they were I mean, I don't know what age they were, but who were voting for Biden. So I'm not saying they don't exist. I'm not erasing them. But the one thing I will say about young people is that they're capable of learning. One of the things I see with the silent gens, like the other caller brought up, which was so important, and the boomers is just like so many of them, not the ones who watch this show, because that's why they watch this show, but so many of them, like, they don't want to learn. I even see it. No, it's not just everybody. I see it in my own family. It's not just y'all. It's like, I do this, and it's just like, well, I like him. I like him. We just gotta get Trump out of there. I was like, oh, how do you watch me and then come up to me and say something like that? Like, are you off? I mean, that is where we are. So it's not like I don't deal with it. I have to deal with it, because that's just where we are. Like, you just wanted to fight me. You just wanted to debate. You didn't. No, I don't read nothing. I just be talking. I talk. So anyway, I'm going to my next call. I'm going to 301. What is your name? Where you calling from? What's on your mind? If I can get it to come. There you go. 301. What's going on? You there?
Yvette, thank you for taking my call.
What's going on? How you doing?
Breakingbrown family. Yeah, I'm pretty good. It's Rashid from PG country. Yeah, so it's just blowing pretty hard over here. So sorry if my signal gets all choppy or anything. So I wanted to call in to say, it's pretty crazy how people are demanding that we just fall in line, and like that was a pretty awesome point. And like people also try to blame it on us, when things go south, when things go bad. So, something that I keep having to do is explain to people, the silent generation, the baby boomers, and the Gen Xers, all in their lifetimes were like, literally held back by the government policies. So one of them was apparently, like the Homestead Act. Like the silent generation didn't get that, right? They were redlined. They didn't get money. They didn't get the ability to buy homes. Baby boomers were affected by not getting the GI Bill. Like some of it, because it was Ronald Reagan that really pushed it and made it so like everybody was going to be able to get it. And that's not nothing for Republicans or anything. But hey, a broken clock is right twice a day. So it's just crazy because like the Bernie Sanders individuals, they keep saying hey, like there's other marginalized communities. But the thing is that a lot of those communities are working off the backs of us and the struggles that are directly affected us. Like Bernie Sanders has a $16.5 trillion climate justice policy, and people keep saying racial justice is climate justice. But that's not true. It's like racial justice is racial justice. He's not including in his bill, in his climate justice, to buy the homes of ADOS people who are redlined in the communities adjacent of chemical treatment facilities. Oh. So it's like, you're going to give us free health care, but we're still going to get cancer.
Yeah, that's important, fam.
Affect baby's brain.
No, I'll say that again. Sometimes, fam, you got to say something again. They're going to give us free health care, but we're going to still get cancer.
They're going to give us free health care, but because we're living beside the chemical treatment facilities, we're still going to get cancer. The babies are still going to get lead in their brains. These things are still going to happen. Like you're going to help our symptoms, but not cure the problem. And the thing is that these are the things that are affecting our community. It's like, shoot, my family, my girlfriend's family, like where our family members live are affecting their health. It doesn't matter, like, if you're like in the black, like boule or you're not, because the thing is that it's like as a majority, as a rule, we were like redlined and pushed away from areas that would stay clean and healthy for us. And even the areas that were clean and healthy, they got defunded. So it's like, no, you can't just tell us that that your grandfather's house gets to be $1 million, and my grandfather's house with an acre of land on it, is worth $400,000. That math don't work.
But you get Medicare, and if you went to college, you get your debt. That's not enough for you. What's wrong with you?
I had to tell.
You're an uppity Negro.
She was saying
I'm saying you're an uppity Negro. You want free health care? We'll give you free health care and college debt.
Right. It's like how dare you ask for what your taxes pay for? When just 4 years ago they were saying the same thing to the Hillary people. They were like, "Oh, how dare we ask to get what our taxes pay for?" Hold up, bro. I just said that my grandfather didn't get the GI Bill. That he served in World War II. My other grandfather didn't get the GI Bill. He served in Korea. Like, hold up, that's a house that the government owes both sides of my family that would have increased in value. Because of the silent generation, they would have had more land. They would have had a house that was more sturdy and was meant to last. And the areas that they live in are the areas that your state, whatever state you live in, when they were competing to get Jeff Bezos' secondary location, they sent them your house. They didn't send them Appalachia. They sent them where the majority of you live. Y'all live in the inner city. Y'all live beside where the commerce sections are. So the thing is that it's like when you got 67 families on top of each other, they're living in an apartment complex, and they, that are right beside the metro line. The area that you live in is going up in value, and the thing is that you're being cut out of that. So like even as an individual today, right now, you're just being excluded. So it's like, like these are not things that we, that have been here have not heard before. But rather the situation is that the fact that we're having to have these conversations when people can literally see them in their real life, they are willfully turning a blind eye to themselves and their own situations. And it's like you have to really force their eyes open. You have to be like, no. For your boomers, you have to be like, no, what about me? Because the thing is that it's like, well, when, if your grandparent was a silent generation, or you knew silent generation family member, you got to be like, well, what did they do for you? And then you got to say, well, what did you do, for me? Like, does that seem like the same amount of help? Does that seem like the same amount of, like, things that you had to get from your parent? And, they're like, well, shoot, like, well, you come, you ask. It's like, but I shouldn't have to ask. Like, our position in the country should provide for itself. But that's I could go.
I think the least you can do is say. I think the least you can do, Carla, is say like. The least you can do. Okay, you ain't got no inheritance or whatever. The least you can do is say, I'm going to vote for you. Like my mom will be like, well, what? How you voting? You still doing Democrat down ballot? Yeah, mom, I'm still doing Democrat. Well, that's what I'm doing. The least you can do is vote in a way that's in my best interest. That's the least you can do. Why you keep pushing at me and poking at me and prodding me? Like, no, vote in my interest because I'm coming up. You're sunsetting. I'm coming up. Vote in my best interest. How is that hard for you? No, you stop voting for the status quo. It ain't working for me. It worked for you. It ain't working for me.
You know what? Are they? Well, they are living longer than the previous generation of black folks, so maybe they feel like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Because you just have to be selfish. At the end of any defense, you have to just see that you are looking out for yourself and your self-interest. So you try to see it from other people's angles, but you have to draw that line in the sand and say, what are you doing?
Thanks, fam. I appreciate it. It was a great call.
Thank you for having me.
No, thank you, fam. That was a great call. I appreciate it. I appreciate you bringing that up. That was important. Thanks, fam. Going to my next call. I'm going to 269. 269, what's your name? Where you calling from? What's on your mind?
Yeah, my name's Dale, and I'm calling from Battle Creek, Michigan.
Hey, what's going on?
And it's been a while. It's been a while since I talked to you, but what I've been doing, I've been in Breaking Brown and Tone Talks University, immersing myself in your clips and the data. So what's been going on is that basically I'm a boomer, but I was trying to live my life as a unicorn. You know, and since I've kind of become a little bit more conscious of what's going on, these are about the 4 things that I do. I post your clips and tone clips on my Facebook timeline.
Oh, thank you.
I go ahead. Oh, yeah. And I also I call conservative talk show hosts in various parts of the country. And it's not the goal of putting them in check, but to basically kind of confuse them, because although I talk about reparations, I come from it from a different place that they've never heard it before, which is the position that you and Tone put out, which is here's a group of black people in this country that will not vote for Democratic candidates unless reparations is part of their agenda and on their plank, and will instead vote down ballot for whether it's Senate or statewide or local races instead, if that does not occur. And that really puzzles them, you know. And the one thing that I do is that 2 days ago, I went ahead and called Al Sharpton's show again and spoke to him, and he was talking about Bloomberg in regards to stop and frisk. And I was telling him, I said, well, I understand how you feel about Bloomberg being on the East Coast and what they were doing, in particular in New York, you know, because I'm a Fourth Amendment advocate myself. But the thing is that if either he, Stiers, or he, Stiers is out, Biden, or anyone else does not include reparations on the Democratic plank as part of their platform, there's a large group of people that no longer identify themselves as black Americans, but identify themselves as American descendants of slaves, which is based off lineage, not race. With that, will go ahead and vote accordingly to go ahead. If they did not provide a proper exchange, we will not give them our vote, and we will encourage others not to give them that vote for that very same reason. So I figured that's the least I could do, since I'm a boomer, but I'm a broke boomer that was trying to live like a unicorn.
I understand,
you know? So that's what I do.
We appreciate you.
A lane for myself, and I try to stay in my lane.
No, we appreciate all the boomers that are out here like advocating. We appreciate you, fam. Thank you so much. And thank you for calling in. We appreciate that. So we got the boomers who understand. We know. I'm going to my last call, fam. But listen, we'll be back tomorrow. So ain't no need to fret. There's no need to fret. I know all of you in there, if you didn't get through the night. Don't fret. We'll be back. We will be back tomorrow. We have another show. We're going to talk about some other. We'll probably have some more information tomorrow, too. That we did not have. Some more takeaways about what happened with Texas or whatever. I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to my last call of the night. I'm going to 205. 205. What is your name? Where you calling from? What's on your mind?
Yes. I'm calling from Tuscaloosa, Alabama.
What's going on,
I
fam?
just wanted to comment. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, fam. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, I just wanted to comment on about what I noticed today at the polls.
Okay.
When I went up to the polls today, I noticed kind of the same thing I noticed what they did in 2016. How they kind of showed favoritism to Hillary Clinton. And if you never heard of Bernie Sanders, you wouldn't know about him to vote for him. You see what I'm saying? Like when I went up there today, they had Joe Biden already filled out. Like on the ballot, they were telling us how to vote.
What?
You say what?
I ain't never heard of that. Y'all heard of that?
Yeah, I got pictures. I can share it to some people that you know. In fact, I can share it with Ivan, and hopefully he could share it with you. But yeah,
No, bro. Send me that like the old people said, directly. Send me that directly at editor@breakingbrown.com. I want to see that, editor@breakingbrown.com. I want to see that directly.
Okay, I will. And the last part, I'll finish up just by saying, I think we do have a problem as ADOS with Democrats ignoring our vote, and that's a reality. But I'm seeing two problems here.
Okay.
What I'm seeing is blue dog Democrats and moderates working together to sabotage the Democratic Party.
But blue dogs are moderates though. Blue dogs are moderate Democrats. That's what they are.
Yeah, I know what I'm saying. But but the reason I differentiate between blue dog Democrats and moderate Democrats, because blue dog Democrats are racist. Not just moderate, they're racist also. Oh. In my opinion, you know, but what I'm saying is that they're sabotaging the Democratic Party. True progressives, regardless if they're ADOS or if they're white progressives, I think y'all need to have a coming together and to think in the minds, because they're setting us back. Moderates, blue dog Democrats, they're setting us back. And they have the bank account to afford to be able to live through Trump another 4 years. So they don't mind.
Don't mind at all. Don't mind at all.
No, they don't mind at all. And I'll finish up by that. And I'll send you that too, at editor Breaking Brown.
I appreciate you. Thank you. Send me that. Somebody said in the chat that they do that a lot. Somebody said they do it a lot.
I appreciate you.
No, thank you, fam. I appreciate it. Somebody in the chat said they do that a lot. I had never seen it. I never heard of it, so I really want to see it. But I appreciate you, fam.
It should be against the law, though.
I would think it would be.
The article. You said what, Yvette?
I said I would think it would be. How you gonna fill in my thing for me? I ain't never walked into my precinct and had nothing filled out for me. When I walk in and I put in a little card, everything's blank.
Yep. Well, it's not that they fill it out for us. They give you a piece of paper.
Oh, they give you a piece of paper which encourages you to vote for certain people.
Yeah, it already has the blanks filled out first.
So if you don't know, they just get you to the polls, and when you get to the polls, they tell you, "Hey, here's who you vote for. You vote for these people." Okay, I see what you mean. Like that machine kind of thing where they say, "Here's the thing." If you don't know if you don't choose nobody before you get to the booth, they gonna choose for you. And a lot of people used to do that too. Like, well, I'm gonna go who the party say. The party say I'm gonna go who the party say. I get what you're saying.
I just want to add one more thing.
Go ahead, fam.
I agree. Yeah, you should be able to campaign at the polls. I have nothing against that. But it's a difference between having a campaign sign and then you have a ballot with the blanks filled out already. That's criminal.
Yeah, that's different.
Especially to a group of people that just came out of Jim Crow.
Yeah, that's different. Yeah. You tell them to vote for certain Democrats all the way down the line. That's different. I agree. All right,
thank you, Yvette.
No problem. I appreciate it. I appreciate you giving us a lowdown of what's going on. Because, I think, black people is in the South for the majority. I don't even know people understand that. So, like, this, Obama turned some stuff. He turned some stuff, some red stuff blue. Like, I don't see where Bernie's is right now where he can do that stuff. And look at what they're doing, how they getting Biden in there. They putting out that sheet. Like the machine, like here's what the Democratic Party of Alabama supports. We support these people and handing that out, right? I don't even think that should be handed out in the polls at all. I'm not saying the party can't mail out something or whatever, but I don't even think that should be illegal to hand that out. Like, what kind of machine? That should be illegal. Like at the polls, like you should be allowed to, like, you can have a Biden person there walking with a sign or Bernie person there with a sign, but this is what the party wants. It looks real official. And when Negroes, we look stuff, see real official, shucks, this is what the party want. Maybe I'm on the wrong page and stuff. So I get it. Anyway, fam, that is the end of our show for this evening. So hit the like button, hit the bell for me if you have not hit the bell already. Hit the subscribe button if you have not hit the subscribe. Hit the subscribe button already. You can go to subscribe to brown.com. That's totally free. If you want to donate, you can go donatebrown.com or patreon.com/ycarnell. But hitting that like button right now before you leave is absolutely free. Go and subscribe to brown.com. It's absolutely free. Hitting subscribe and hitting that bell so you get notifications. All free ways to support the show. Showing up too. So tomorrow, back having another conversation. I gotta go look at the way the numbers came in and see how everybody crunches them to see what I want to talk about or how I'm gonna switch that up for tomorrow. So that's what we're gonna do. Do not forget that on the I'm stuffed up a little bit. But do not forget that where's the thing I had? Do not forget that on the 26th of this month, the color of money, black banks, and the racial wealth gap, we will be discussing that. Please do not forget. Please do not forget, read and bookmark and do all of that good stuff so that we can have the conversation. Go to bed, fam. Finish up your libations. I'm going to go get my tea and start up again. Chamomile, go right to sleep. And we will talk tomorrow about, and note your insights, what you see. Like when you read stuff that you saw, you say, this is interesting. Like write that down when you call in, we can talk about it. So fam, we will talk again tomorrow night. Be easy, take care, and see you tomorrow.